is Asia First.
Good morning, it's 9 o'clock here in Singapore. I'm Arnold Gay. The headlines this hour: Israel vows to exact the price from Iran for the unprecedented overnight barrage of drone and missile strikes, even as it faces international pressure to de-escalate. The Biden administration telling Benjamin Netanyahu to think carefully about any retaliation. G7 leaders walking a fine line, calling on Tehran to exercise restraint and pledging to work towards an immediate and sustainable ceasefire in Gaza amid concerns of a wider regional conflict.
Because we have deliberations with our partners, we are considering all options, and I'm quite confident that we will take the necessary steps that are necessary to protect and defend our people. We are not war seekers. I think I would leave it at that.
I'm Sarah Caldi with Business News. I'll bring you the market reaction as tensions rise in the Middle East and as investors weigh the risk of an Israeli retaliation. Asia-Pacific markets are trading weak, and oil is muted, though analysts expect prices to gain as the region accounts for 40% of global exports. Any impact on shipping also closely watched, with Iran threatening to shut down the world's single most important oil passageway, the Strait of Hormuz. Plus, in focus this week, China's economic scorecard as it struggles to energize domestic demand and cope with a persistent property slump.
I'm Elizabeth Neo. Balancing trade and geopolitical concerns. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz begins his China visit as Berlin seeks to de-risk its relationship with Beijing. There's growing scrutiny over Chinese EV exports flooding European markets. Of course, Germany also wants China's support in influencing Russia amid the war in Ukraine. And at least 19 people killed and 2 are missing after a landslide in the central Indonesian island of Sulawesi. Heavy rains and damage to roads into the affected areas complicate rescue efforts. But first,
the G7 group of countries has condemned Iran's first-ever direct strikes on Israel and warned they risk provoking an uncontrollable escalation in the Middle East.
Calls for restraint have come in from global powers and Arab nations amid fears of an open warfare erupting between the regional rivals. Well, leaders of the G7 countries have offered their full support to Israel and say they are ready to take more measures in response to further destabilizing initiatives. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen, in a separate statement, spoke of possible additional sanctions against Iran, especially on its drone and missile programs.